Hey, welcome back to Soul Whispers Tarot. My name is Karen and I'm here again with another pick a card reading. And this reading is what's going on in your connection. So there's going to be powerful love messages coming out here that you really need to know. So I'm using the Lover's Oracle deck here, and there's 6 set of cards today. So set of cards number 1 is the pink stone. Set of cards number 2 is the clear stone. Set of cards number 3 is the blue stone. Set of cards number 4 is the orangey yellow stone. Set of cards number 5 is the red stone. And set of cards number 6 is the green stone. So if you would like to receive these readings every other day, then please subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time that I do release a reading. On average, it's every other day that I release these readings, and they are mostly about love and soul connections. And if you'd like additional readings every single week, which are exclusive to my email subscribers, then please sign up to those by clicking on the link below this video. So I'll give you some time to tune into the energies of the cards, and it's okay to be drawn to more than one set of cards as well. Okay, so let's get into the reading. So this is set of cards number 1, which is the pink crystal. And you've picked this card here, which is called Sexual Union. Honor the place in one another where you are one. Where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. Okay, so what is going on within your connection? So there's the 2 of Pentacles, the Fool in reverse, the Lovers, the Hermit, the 9 of Cups in reverse. My ego got My ego got too caught up in you chasing me. I am no good at articulating my feelings. That doesn't mean I don't have feelings for you or that I'm dumb. I need you. Do I have what it takes? Rebellion. Flattery. Service. Messenger. And this one here, fear. Okay, so what's going on in your connection? Okay. So what I'm feeling is one of you has really been trying to make this connection stay afloat. I feel the other person has been trying to turn their back on their emotions. They've been trying to rebel from their own emotions, because I feel as though your connection really intimidates them. It brings them a lot of fear. This person has a lot of difficulties when it comes to expressing their emotions. They do feel as though they need you. And there's this, do I have what it takes? So this person finds it a struggle to be open and upfront with you. I feel as though with this 2 of Pentacles, they were also in their own way trying to keep your relationship afloat. So there's my ego got too caught up in you chasing me. And so this person felt secure when they knew just how much you wanted them and how you were chasing them, or there's flattery here as well. They felt very flattered by your attention. Some of you may have been trying to build this person's confidence up, but they may have felt that you were just flattering them to try and get them to come closer to you, because they don't have this self-belief is what I'm feeling. Spirit really wants you to know that at the center or at the core of this person's blocks is their fear. It's not because they don't love you, because there is that sexual union card and there is the Lovers card. So they do have this desire for you. And Two of Pentacles. It's been a struggle to try and keep balance in this connection. But yeah, this person's turned their back on the ocean. Normally it's shown the sea is like really stormy, and the sea or the ocean represents emotions, the depth of how they're feeling. But I feel like this person has been like in denial about their feelings. They've been trying to like preoccupy themselves by putting a lot of things on their plate to try and avoid thinking too much about your connection, because I feel like deep down this person really desires to be with you, but they're struggling when it comes to having that confidence within themselves to take a leap of faith. Do I have what it takes? Their fear, their own doubts are what are holding them back. You know, this dog, it's almost like sometimes it's shown as the dog is like biting or almost biting at the fool's ankle. This is like their nagging thoughts, their pessimistic thinking, a tendency to overthink things that's holding them back. It's like they're second guessing themselves out of, you know, taking that leap of faith. And I feel as though this person's distracting themselves from their feelings because they don't feel like they have what it takes to be brave enough to really go for what they want. Because deep down they feel that you are their dream come true. They feel really uplifted when they allow themselves to think about you and think about, you know, how you've shown them your attention. That makes them feel on cloud nine. In the reverse position, I feel like they're kind of internalizing this feeling uplifted, feeling good. It's like they may be daydreaming about and having all these sexual fantasies and daydreaming about being with you, but it's like they internalize it. When it comes to actually taking action, they feel like they don't have what it takes. And so in a sense, it's creating heartbreak for them and for you, because they do see you as their dream come true, and you feel really uplifted. You feel this magnetic attraction to them as well. And so in reverse, it's like this is getting repressed. It's getting blocked. And I feel like they're rebellious in terms of denying this connection to themselves, because they feel like they don't have what it takes. They don't feel good enough or strong enough, perhaps, because being with you is really calling them to be their true self. It's really calling them to have an open heart and be open and vulnerable and, you know, risk rejection. You know, that's what we have to do. We have to open ourselves up when it comes to love. And I feel like this is what this person's most afraid of, a fear of rejection. Like I said, they feel as though it was just flattery. They felt like the compliments you were giving them were not genuinely about them, because I feel as though they have been resistant. And so they felt as though they haven't actually done much to show that they are like good partner material kind of thing. And so they feel as though you're in love with their potential, and they're afraid that if they took a leap of faith with you, you would, you know, walk away or reject them. There is the Hermit. So I feel like this person's isolating themselves. Again, they're withdrawing their emotions. They are going inwards. It's like sometimes they're allowing themselves to really think about this. And at the core, they do feel as though they need you. Service and messenger. You know, this may be a message for some of you because both of these people are like outside. So this person may normally like work outside, serving like the community in some kind of way, but you know, not necessarily. So service and messenger. And he's handing the lady the envelope. I do feel as though this person's put you on a pedestal. With this service card, it's like, this is the footman, is that right? Or, you know, this person's opened the carriage door to the person who's of a higher status, basically. So this person just may have put you on a pedestal or feels like you're out their league. And messenger, I do feel like you have been in communication with this person. You may communicate online or through some kind of written message. But it's almost like this person's keeping themselves busy and they don't slow down enough because they're trying to distract themselves from their inner pain, because they do desire to be with you, but they don't feel confident enough. They're running away from themselves. It's like they're trying to be in denial because they're afraid of being abandoned by you. But with this Two of Pentacles as well, with this service and messenger, I'm really feeling, like I said, that they have been trying to keep your relationship afloat in some kind of way. Maybe they've been trying to flatter you from afar, compliment you. This rebellion, I'm seeing the wall. They've got their walls up, but there's watchtowers. It's like they're watching you from afar. They have a fear of love because this is 6, which is the number of love. But they may have been trying really hard to keep you holding on in some kind of way. Like they may have been giving you some, I kind of want to say false promises. But it's like deep down they've wanted to take action on the things that they've said, but they haven't felt strong enough or ready to do that. Because this service card, it's like behind the scenes they have been trying to work to keep the relationship going without actually, you know, fully committing. And yeah, they just felt safer when you were chasing them, or when they felt as though you were really keen on them. That made them feel confident that you would kind of still be there for them. So let's look at these messages as well. What's going on within your connection? How are they feeling? Things like that. Misaligned. Okay, so this is all about the energetic alignment. This person isn't in a place of self-love, or they just need to learn a lot of more things before they're capable of having a healthy relationship. So this person may have karmic lessons, and, you know, we're looking at this person's energy right now, but in terms of yourself, you know, it could be the same thing. There may literally be a soul contract where you're supposed to learn other things, and it's not the right time for you to be together. It's like the right, for some of you it's like the right person, but not the right time just yet. For some of you, this misaligned could mean that ultimately you're not compatible in terms of having a healthy relationship. Let's see what else comes out. dreams. So, yeah, this person is daydreaming about you. That's the dreams come true card, the Nine of Cups. So, again, they may be, living in their thoughts rather than taking action. They may literally be having dreams of you, and you may be dreaming about them. You may be connecting in the higher realms in your dream state. What other message wants to come through? This one here. Yeah, in the palm of your hand. It's like their heart is in the palm of your hand. They are really worried that if they let themselves open up too much to you and this connection, that they're really fearful that you could crush them at any moment, that you could crush their heart, break their heart. So it's almost like they're holding themselves back. They're not allowing themselves to really explore their emotions for you too much. There's always a line that they're scared to cross. They do feel like they need you, but that's what scares them. They don't want to need you too much if they feel like it's not going to happen, it's not going to work out. I want to be like you. So yeah, this person puts you on a pedestal. They feel like you're better than them. They're comparing themselves to you. They want to be more like you. They want to have courage. They want to be able to express their emotions too much. They feel like they're out of their depth. I feel like you're someone who can express yourself much more clearly without as much fear. And they feel really intimidated when it comes to that. You could crush me. So that is exactly what I was saying in the palm of your hand. You could crush me. It's their fear. Their fear is at the core of it. The fear of loving you too much. What's this one? Ego high. Yeah, that's what that other card said. My ego got too caught up in you chasing me. So this person may have taken you for granted because they felt like you would always be there for them. You may have chased this person really hard, or they may have felt extremely flattered by the time and the attention that you were giving them, and then they kind of fell into this false sense of security, and it's like they wanted to hold on to your dynamic the way it was. They wanted to stay in their comfort zone, basically, because, with this messenger, you may have been messaging them with service. This could have been you, serving them, really being there for them. But in a sense, they got caught up in that, and maybe the time and attention you're giving them was like serving their ego. And yeah, they felt a false sense of security in that. It's like they're afraid of losing what you'd already got together, and they're afraid of making it real in case, it shattered some kind of illusion in your mind, and then you discovered you weren't really happy with this person. I feel like they loved how you saw them. They didn't see themselves in that light, and so they felt on cloud nine when you were seeing them in this amazing light. And in a way, it was helping them to see themselves in a better light, but still, I feel like this person really needs to work on their own self-esteem. I feel like they got too caught up in you kind of providing that ego boost to them because you were trying to help them. But yeah, they need to find the self-love. What's this one? Hoping and praying. Yeah, they're fearful because they're hoping and praying that things can work out between you deep down. Lessons in self-love. So yeah, that's why there's that misalignment. There is karmic lessons to do with self-love, and it may be on both sides. Like you may need to work on your self-love and, not looking outside of yourself to this other person for your sense of worthiness. You need to know that you're good enough and worthy and lovable and amazing, whether this person commits to you or not. There's a sense of you both look into each other too much for that reassurance that you're lovable. But that's why there's this energetic misalignment. Like if neither of you are in a place of self-love, then you're not in alignment with the love vibration to be able to give and receive love in a healthy way. And one final message. You make me feel so alive. So yeah. You make them feel amazing. They're afraid of losing that. They're afraid of losing how you make them feel like $1 million if, they were to shatter your illusions and then you suddenly weren't happy with them or weren't fulfilled by the real them or something like that. So I hope this reading has resonated with you, and if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. Currently I'm releasing readings every other day, but if you would like additional readings every single week which are exclusive to my email subscribers, then please also sign up to those by clicking on the link below this video. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye. So this is set of cards number 2, which is the clear crystal. And you've chosen this card. We've got some tarot and oracle cards, and we're also going to look into these messages as well. So you've chosen this card, and the question is, what's going on within your connection? And this one is romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. Okay, so what's going on within your connection? You have the 10 of Cups in reverse, the Page of Cups, the 2 of Wands in reverse, the Hierophant, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You were so nice and trying to make up for my flaws by doing all the work. You were enabling me to avoid my healing. It's not just down to my free will. I love this path. Slow down. Domination. Resistance. Thief. Prison. Joy. Okay, so what's going on within your connection? This person definitely feels a lot of love for you, especially with romance. Cupid arrow strikes. When you met, it was like lightning struck, The lightning struck your heart. There was a lot of magnetic attraction, a lot of excitement, electricity, intense depth of emotion between you. Okay, so yeah, this person was holding back is what I'm feeling. You may have really been there for them, putting a lot of time and energy into the connection. You may have been offering them a new beginning. You were wanting commitment from them. You were offering them your time, your compassion, your emotions, your heart. And with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, it's like this was a missed opportunity for them. Like they weren't able to align with receiving love is what I'm feeling. So there was an imbalance of giving and receiving going on within the connection. Because, this card here, which says it's not just down to my free will. This is all about an energetic alignment or misalignment, I should say. It's all about whether someone is aligned with the self-love within themselves, whether they know they are worthy of love or not. And when we don't feel worthy of love, we can go in one of two directions. In most cases, we can either become a chaser and chasing that love and trying to prove ourselves, trying to earn that love and validation and seeking that approval, seeking that reassurance that we are good enough and worthy and lovable, searching for that outside of ourselves and trying to get someone else to commit to us and tell us how much they love us and really validate us in that way. So that's like chasing. Or we can run, and it's like we don't feel good enough to receive all this love that's coming our way. We mistrust it because we feel as though it must be some kind of trick from the universe. We're afraid of getting hurt if we accept the love. It may just feel like foreign to us to be loved in that kind of way, and so it feels uncomfortable because someone's really seeing us on a deeper level. And so we can run away from that. We can run from the fear of getting hurt. When we don't think we're good enough for love, then we do feel the love's going to be taken away. We don't trust in the connection. We don't trust that the person truly loves us. And there's someone here that may have been feeling as though the other person was just in love with a fantasy or something like that they projected onto that person. So there's a Ten of Cups in reverse. Just looking at the tarot cards. There was imbalances going on here. Page of Cups. There is an innocence within this connection. I feel as though this person was able to express their love in small little ways, but they could only offer like the Page of Cups energy. They could only offer small little offerings. They couldn't, they weren't ready to fully create this Ten of Cups. The commitment, the happy relationship, the healing, the alignment. This is saying that you both love each other very, very deeply, but there's just a misalignment. There's like disharmony. But the love is very strong. And there's frustration here in the reverse position with this Two of Wands. It's like you're both thinking about each other from afar. What's very interesting in this deck, which is the Morgan Greer Tarot, there's two different people holding the wands. If we look closely, so you both want this passionate new beginning. You're both mirroring each other in terms of wanting that. Normally it's holding a globe, but this almost looks like a crystal ball. It's almost like you've both been thinking about the future. You've both been hoping that the future involves joy and being together and commitment and having that Ten of Cups, having that happy relationship. You've both been daydreaming about this. But from afar, like this connection has been stuck, or one of you or both of you, in truth, it's probably both of you. Are stuck. Like you may have also been trying to use your free will to make this relationship happen, but it's not just down to your free will either. It's down to the energetic, whether you both believe that you truly deserve love. If you're both ready, there may be a karmic contract where you're supposed to both learn more healing lessons before it's time for you to come together. So I feel there is a mirroring there when it comes to needing to heal, both holding on to the future, both thinking about each other from afar, but both stuck in some kind of way. With it being in reverse, it's like one of you may have got so disheartened that they temporarily turned their back on the connection because they felt like it was hopeless, and they were afraid that this heartbreak would be too much for them. So they may have like walked away temporarily and tried to convince themselves that they could be happy without this connection. But now I'm feeling it's like a frustration, a longing that's very painful because there is this very strong spiritual bond that you have, and there is a commitment to this connection. Even if you don't see a commitment in the physical, even if you aren't physically together, it's like you're both thinking about each other, you're both wanting the union, you have this soul commitment, the soul contract. And I do feel it is about healing lessons before you can fully align with each other. I feel as though the resistance, which is based on fear, is kind of dominating the connection. Like, resistance can take the form of having a lack of faith that the connection's going to work out. So when we resist, we can either try and dominate the connection and make things happen, force things to happen, but we're getting in our own way. We're not trusting the universe. We're not allowing things to unfold in the way that they're supposed to, because we have a lack of faith. And there is the law of attraction involved here as well. Whatever we believe, we receive. Whatever we believe is what we manifest. And so if there's fear of things not working out, and therefore resistance in terms of trying to force things because you feel like you have to grab a hold of it to make it work, then deep down that's a belief that things aren't going to happen. And so you're trying to grab onto it, and that belief in things not working out, or things are complicated, or focusing on all the complications or the heartbreak or the fears or what's not happening, is kind of manifesting more of that. And or for the other person, this resistance may have been to turn their back on the connection, because they feared that this connection was going to dominate them. A fear of needing you too much, and feeling like they could be crushed at any moment if it doesn't work out. And so feeling extremely overwhelmed by that, feeling dominated by that fear. Because we have thief as well. It's like they're afraid that the love's going to be stolen from them. They may have felt like they weren't good enough. They're afraid that you might meet someone else that's going to steal you away from them, or they were afraid that you were going to steal their heart and be heartbroken. They were afraid that, I feel like someone's had trust issues. Thief, some of this may be you feel like this person stole your heart, broke your heart, because their fear was causing resistance, and they tried to dominate the connection with that resistance. They tried to stay in control by not being open, trying to sort of push this away or keep it at arm's length. You may have felt as though they ran away with your heart. They may have got with someone else, or this could be you got with someone else. And there's prison. This is like being trapped in the fear, feeling stuck. This person doesn't know how to get out of the blocks and the fears, the resistance. This person doesn't know what to do. They feel stuck, rooted to the spot, maybe stuck in heartbreak. You were so nice and trying to make up for my flaws by doing all the work. You were enabling me to avoid my healing. So yeah, there was an imbalance of give and take here. Like I said, that dynamic was happening where someone was giving too much in order to try and earn the love, and then the other person was running because they were afraid of rejection. The more you were giving, the more they felt as though they didn't have enough to give you in return. The more you were giving, I feel they felt secure in you always being there for them. And so it was like you became this crutch that they could lean on without having to step out of their comfort zone and do the actual work. So yeah, slow down. I feel one of you was trying to speed things up. The other had that resistance, trying to slow things down because they were trying to avoid you being annoyed at them and rejecting them. They felt like you were trying to be too quick and it was overwhelming them. And this slow pace is like driving you crazy. Maybe it went so slow that it even went backwards and they ran away. But at the core of things, they love this path. Because they do feel it's a deep spiritual path with the Hierophant. It does bring them great joy, but they just feel stuck. They may have experienced heartbreak in the past where someone did. They stole like their innocence, they stole their heart, they broke their heart, that people have, really mistreated them, and now they're in this prison of, like, I feel like they still haven't got over that. They took that very personally. So let's look into these messages. What's going on within this connection? Astral connection. So you're communicating with each other telepathically in the higher dimensions. You may be connecting in the dream world. This person may feel more comfortable where there's like a safe distance between you, but they're connecting with you very much so through the 5D and the higher dimensions. Mind games. So yeah, I feel like this person may have been afraid of losing you so much that they may have tried to play mind games to keep you chasing them. And again, it can work both ways. Sometimes when we're chasing someone, we can subconsciously create mind games in terms of trying to get this other person hooked on us, trying to get this person sort of chained to us, stuck on us, to the point where we want them to need us. So we may be giving them all this time, this attention, all this love and compassion in a way, like really being there for them in a way that no one else has ever been there for them. Almost like being a substitute mother or father in some cases. We're trying to make this person need us so much because we're so afraid of losing them as well. So it becomes this codependent pattern where one person is, being the provider and the other person is like using you as a crutch sort of thing to get through life. And then a fear of losing that, like a subconscious fear that, if I'm not this person's mother or father figure, then they might not need me anymore. Or, if it's this parent-child dynamic, the child sort of person, maybe thinking if I stop playing childish and, then they may not have a need to keep giving that love to me anymore. So they want to get closer to you, but then they're afraid of growing up. They're afraid of healing and meeting you halfway because this parent-child dynamic kind of keeps you both together in a codependent kind of way though. Guarded. Yeah, this person's definitely guarded. Fears. This is like they've imprisoned themselves within their tower, within masks, within illusions. Again, it could work both ways. The chaser can get stuck wearing masks as well, trying to impress the other person, not honouring their own needs, not being their true self in terms of focusing on what they need. They're focusing too much on trying to provide the other person's needs so that they stay. I love you. There is love, at the core of this, even if there is mind games. Like I said earlier, I do feel there's an innocence within this connection. I don't feel as though deep down there's like this person's a bad person or anything. They may have made poor decisions. or bad decisions, but I don't feel that they're a bad person. What's this message? Life or death. So yeah, this person's very afraid of getting close to you because they don't want everything to fall apart. They are worried that they're not good enough and that you're going to realize that they can't give you what you want. And so they may have been giving you, the mind games may have been they were trying to keep you hooked by giving you kind of false promises, because the innocent part of them really wanted to provide you with those things. But in truth, they're not in a place to really be able to give you those things at this time. And so the mind games may have been them giving you those promises to keep you hooked, always waiting for the delivery, but they weren't delivering on those promises because they felt afraid. And so it became this like vicious cycle, and they were afraid that if they did get close to you, then you would realize that they weren't exactly how they were trying to make out they were. And then you'd be really disappointed or annoyed, and then you'd end it. And so it was like a life or death situation. They felt like they needed you so much. Crying. So yeah, this person's been crying over you. It almost looks like they are in this card as well. I just really feel as though this person is so worried about how much they need you and how they could be crushed by you at any moment, or by the universe if they feel like the universe takes this connection away. And so they're trying to resist their feelings because they don't want to get too hurt. They're almost expecting the rug to be pulled from beneath them, so they're trying to prepare themselves by being resistant. And I think a lot of us can relate to that in terms of, you know, if things are really going well in your life, sometimes we can worry and be very anxious about the future, and it's almost like our way of trying to protect ourselves. Like if we think of the worst case scenarios, and before they happen, then we'll be somehow prepared. It's almost like we're afraid to really let loose and be happy because, you know, we don't want to feel totally shocked if something bad happened and we hadn't prepared mentally for it. It's kind of like that. I need you. Yeah. This person really, really feels like they need you. That's what they're afraid of most, needing you too much and then not having you. Scared, yeah, really, really scared. They're scared as well that they're not going to be able to overcome these fears and blocks, and you know, they're afraid that they won't come out of their comfort zone, and then they'll lose you because of that. One more message. Fear of intimacy. Yeah, that sums it up. They're afraid of getting close because of fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. So I really hope that this reading has resonated with you. And if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. If you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading, which currently is about every other day. Also, if you would like additional readings every single week, which are exclusive to my email subscribers, then please sign up to those by clicking the link below this video. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye. So this is set of cards number 3, which is the blue stone. And you've picked this card here. So this reading is what is going on within your connection. This card is Soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. So there may be some kind of separation going on between you and your soulmate right now. So this is really saying about having faith, because whatever we believe is what we manifest. So see yourself in union with your soulmates, or if you are single, some of you, imagine yourself with your soulmate. Really believe that's going to happen, and that will manifest when the time is right. So what's going on within your connection? There's the Six of Cups. That's the soulmate card. The Chariot. The Three of Cups. Temperance. The Six of Wands. The relationships happened so easily with the other woman. It wasn't so complicated. Okay. So this is talking about a third-party situation, which may be linking to the Three of Cups. Yeah, that says the relationship happened so easily with the other woman, but, you know, it could be with the other man. However it resonates. I know I have contributed to our separation, but it's honestly not just me. Okay, so that's saying that both of you have somehow contributed to a separation that's going on. And, you know, I don't feel like it was anyone's intention for the separation, but it's most likely an energetic thing. Like it says with this card about manifestation. It's about the law of attraction. When we aren't fully ready in terms of being in a place of self-love and knowing our worth and believing that we deserve love and believing and having faith that love is going to happen, then, you know, we're kind of manifesting what we don't want. You know, if we're thinking, oh, it's not going to happen, or I'm not worthy, even if it's like really subconsciously, then that can block us from receiving the love. So this is really saying that an energetic dynamic has happened here about misalignment. So it's not quite ready for you to become one, you know, become one in terms of coming together in alignment. I'm scared of losing you. I am good enough. So yeah, I feel like there's been self-esteem issues. Companionship. Decision. Despair. Journey. And yeah, separation. Okay. So I do feel like for some this is about a third-party situation, because there's a Three of Cups and it says the relationship happened so easily with the other woman. It wasn't so complicated. So that's really saying that things were complicated between you both. They may have needed to make a decision. And look, it's a three, like a third-party situation. They may have had to make a decision between you and someone else, and it just seemed to happen much more easily with the other person. And that I feel as though they feel companionship with the other person. Like this other person may be like a soulmate to them, but what I'm feeling is you're their soulmate too. But this other soulmate that they are with is more like, it's more like a companionship. Like they're shaking hands. It's almost like it works on more of a practical kind of sense. There was a soul agreement here. But I feel as though their feelings in this other relationship are not as strong as their feelings that they have for you. You know, you may be twin flames, which is really intense, and you're mirrors of each other, and it's all about healing, because a lot of triggering comes up. A lot of roller coaster, obstacles, difficulties come into the relationship, but it's really to stir up the blocks within yourselves, mostly to do with a lack of self-love or not knowing your worth. A lot of that comes up. And often, you know, there are separations, and there are often other soulmates that you both meet and can be with, and you learn a lot from these other people. And sometimes you can come back together with your twin flame after you've been in these other relationships that have helped to heal you. But, you know, sometimes you may have to, you know, I don't mean it like that. You have to. You may meet another soulmate where things just happen more easily. So, you know, this may not even be the other person. It could be you. You have a twin flame connection here, but some of you may, some of you, the viewers, may be with another soulmate. Maybe you had to make a decision, and then the other person is scared of losing you, or you're scared of losing them. There's a separation, and there's a sense of spying on the person's social media, trying to figure out, like, are they still with this person, or they're trying to figure that out with you. And there's all this despair. There's a despair because someone's gone on a new journey. They've gone in a different direction. They had to make that decision. And maybe things were just so complicated between both of you that they may have felt, okay, maybe this isn't the right person for me. And so they've, may have got into another relationship. Because when it comes to twin flame readings, not everyone, but I have seen in the past a lot of third party readings where, some people make out like the third party person is like this evil person, or someone that's like really nasty, and they shouldn't be in our twin flame's life. Making them out, the third party out to be this like really selfish, narcissistic, nasty person. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't, because some of them probably are. But in some cases, a third party situation in terms of twin flames can be like a healthy companionship soulmate, and you could meet someone where it just works much more effectively in the 5D. And some of you have already met that person and you're with them. And so it's your twin flame. It's the other person that's feeling this despair. Some of you, it's like maybe both of you are in other relationships. But when it comes to your connection as well, this person definitely sees you as their soulmate or their twin flame, and you see them as that as well. The Chariot. Yeah, I feel like there has been movement towards the Three of Cups, towards a third party situation is what I'm feeling. There may have been some kind of separation, some kind of despair that happened within your connection with your twin flame, but that caused you to go on a new path, on a new direction. It may have caused you to make a decision about being your own best friend, doing what's right for you, doing what feels good. But there's also been this fear of losing your twin flame, still looking at the other person's social media, but someone's definitely, I feel, found another soulmate where it's more harmonious in the 5D, in the 3D, but it's not as intense, like emotionally, for what each other feels in the twin flame connection. But it's almost like someone, realized their worth. They realized they deserve to be happy, and so they really went for that. They have felt fear of losing you, or you have felt fear of losing them in making that decision, but it's almost like things were so complicated, or there were too many blocks, and so there was a fear of stagnating and waiting and missing out on other opportunities. Someone really felt a soul calling, is what I'm feeling, to go in a new direction. And it doesn't mean they don't love you, or it doesn't mean you don't love them, your twin flame. It just was a soul calling. It was a decision that had to be made. I am good enough. Within your twin flame connection, there may have been this despair that went on for a long time because there was a separation, and maybe you were taking it very personally and this other person was taking it very personally. I feel like it was triggering a lot of abandonment and rejection wounds within both of you. And it all became too much for someone. all that pain. And so they found solace in another connection. They knew their worth. Some kind of despair happened, some kind of tower moment happened within the twin flame connection or within themselves internally. And it made them realize they deserve more than just waiting around, or they deserve more than stagnating and constantly being in a place of fear of losing the other person and anxiety and what's going on next and obsessing over them and looking at their social media. I feel like someone outgrew that because it became too much. So they needed to heal that. They needed to release that for their own sense of sanity. And they realized that they were looking at one stage to the other person too much for that love, that validation, for the commitment to mean that, you know, if this person turns around and commits to me, then finally I'm going to know that I'm lovable and worthy. Someone realized that on their own without that twin flame like commitment in the 3D. So they made the decision to meet or be with a harmonious, balanced soulmate connection. I feel like the divine really guided someone here into finding this companion soulmate. This is victory and love after a battle, after a struggle, after adversity. 6 is the number of love. And so there was a lot of struggle within the twin flame connection, but there's a sense of being victorious. And, you know, don't despair. You know, if you're not at this stage and you feel like your twin flame has got with someone else and you are feeling abandoned and despair, you know, I feel like this companion soulmate is going to enter your life as well. For some of you, this is the message here, that someone, this soldier on the white horse, is riding towards you, victory and love. And I feel it's like a third energy. So yeah, the relationship happened easily with the other woman, or it couldn't be with the other man. It wasn't so complicated. Someone's just flowing together with a soulmate because it's part of the soul contract. But I feel like you still love each other. If this person is with someone else, they still really love you. They are still scared of losing you. They're still looking at your social media. But they felt this soul call to go in a new direction. Or again, it could be the other way around. You're still loving them, even though you maybe were someone else, or in the process of trying to find someone else who can really give you what you deserve and need, like in the present moment, rather than like looking to the future all the time. So let's look into these messages here. Denial. So there may be some kind of separation here because one person was in a lot of despair, like I said, because they felt as though you weren't coming together and the separation was becoming too much for them to handle. So they may have sought solace in another relationship, you know, to try and ease the pain, soften the blow in a sense, get with someone else. And now they're with that other person. They may have initially like tried to deny their feelings for you. They may have got into this other relationship because they may have been trying to prove to themselves that I can love this other person as much as I love you. But that wasn't really true. I feel like someone is in another relationship and there is that love there. But they're still feeling like you're like their ultimate soulmate or their twin flame, the one they feel the deepest love at their core. rebel. So yeah, again, this goes along with denial, like rebelling against their despair, their pain. Rebelling almost against, it's almost like they felt so much pain from the separation that they didn't want to feel this sense of despair any longer. So they tried to rebel against their feelings and be in denial about their feelings for you. They made the decision to go in a new direction and have a relationship with someone else. Taking action. So yeah, with that Chariot as well, someone made the choice, they made the decision to take action, to go in a new direction, because they felt like there was too much stagnation, there was not enough action, like things weren't happening in the 3D. And it may well have been because there was a soul contract to be with another soulmate, and that's partly why things weren't happening within the twin flame connection, because there needed to be the third party situation, a third party relationship, to learn, to continue on their journey to do with, you know, loving themselves more, learning the lessons, healing, anything that's required for that ascension, basically, which helps with your twin flame connection. Misaligned. So yeah, it wasn't the right time for you and your twin flame to be together. And they may have had despair because they may have finally been honest with themselves that there was a misalignment, there wasn't action, you know, nothing was getting off the ground because of the misalignment. And, you know, with this misalignment, there needs to be healing. And therefore, that's why I feel there was this soul contract for a third-party situation to come in to help with that healing. Crying. So yeah, there was a lot of despair. This person is still afraid of losing you. You know, they may have been really drawn into this other relationship because it is part of their soul contract. But then at the same time, they may be worried about losing you, but it may have just felt so right because of that contract was pulling them in that different direction. And they are afraid of losing you. And that's why they're crying, because they do miss you. They still love you. They still see you as their ultimate soulmate that they want to be with, like in the long run. Feel safer in situationship. So for some, they chose to be within this other relationship because it seemed easier to be with the other person. When it came to being with you, they didn't feel safe because they didn't feel good enough. They were afraid of rejection. They love you so much. They feel like they could be totally crushed and totally in this despair. So some of them were running away from the despair. They felt as though if things didn't work out with you, then maybe they may even feel suicidal. He's got a gun there to his own head. They felt like they wouldn't be able to cope. And so that was too scary for them to face. And so for a long time, they may have felt safer in some kind of dynamic where you were kind of in contact, but you weren't in a full commitment. They were afraid of that commitment in case you rejected them because they didn't feel good enough. And, you know, that's what contributes to the misalignment, when we don't know our own worth, when we aren't in the place of self-love, so we cannot give and receive love in a healthy way. So this may be a case that one person felt safer in the situationship. They weren't stepping up. They weren't committing further. And so maybe for some of you, that caused you to make a decision to move forward and rebel against this connection and try and deny your feelings for them for a while and take action to go on a new journey, because you knew that you deserved more. So you may have walked away from this person and now be in another relationship or seeking another relationship because you realize this person was just going to hold on to the dynamic, the situationship, rather than taking it further. Trying to look strong. So yeah, this person may have been denying their feelings in terms of not communicating their feelings to you. Some of you, if you've been hurt, you may have tried to look strong and hide your pain, hide your despair, and take action, rebel against your twin flame, deny your feelings even though you were secretly crying about the misalignment, and therefore you took action in a new direction. Mask. Yeah, someone was wearing a mask, trying to deny feelings, trying to look strong, trying to hide the sadness. That was what was creating the situationship, a fear of being totally authentic, totally open, vulnerable, because, that leaves us wide open to get hurt. One final message, please. Depressed. So yeah, even if this person is with another soulmate at this time, or you're with another soulmate, there's a depression about the separation. Depressed. And again, I feel like you may both be looking at each other from afar through social media. So I really hope this reading has resonated with you, and if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and that way it will notify you every time I release a new reading, which currently is about every other day. But I also do additional readings for email subscribers, so sign up to my emails, please, by the link below this video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye. So this is set of cards number 4, which is the orangey yellow crystal. So what's going on within your connection? You chose this card here, which says, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Okay, so what's going on within your connection? There's the moon, the tower, the devil, the hanged man in reverse, death. So they are all major arcana cards, so really powerful energies, a lot of shifts, a lot of change, a lot of fear. I keep my distance so you stay holding on to me. So that may be a revealing message for some of you. There is so much I never said. I need to protect myself. I'm working towards our future. We have widower, soldier, drama. Yeah, it sure looks like it with all those intense energies. Assertion, independence, grief and anger, and 10. So 10 is the ending of a cycle, beginning of the new. There's definitely been some kind of ending within your connection. What with the grief and anger, the widower, the tower, and the death card. Whew, some kind of drama happened within your connection. Someone's fear got too much for them. Someone's fear got the better of them. There may have been lies. There may have been deceit. Someone may have been in another relationship, a toxic relationship. They were afraid of that breaking down, and so they may have been holding on tightly. But this could have been, about your connection. There may have been codependency here, a lot of fears, a lot of blocks, a lot of wounds, a lot of looking outside of self for validation, approval, love, because of a lack of self-love, a lack of knowing one's own worth. And there may have been a fear of everything falling apart, a fear of looking inwards, maybe looking outside of self, holding on. Because in this moon, I'm noticing there's 2 towers. So it's like this person could have been behind their walls, wearing masks, but you may have been doing the same. Massive fear between you. A lot of depth within your connection. The moon is a lot of depth, a lot of emotions, a lot of love. They're like the dog and the wolf is like howling at night. You may have been calling out to each other in the middle of the night kind of energy, really wanting to connect, really feeling deep energies, deep love, deep desire and longing for each other. But it's like there was something separating you. There was a line that both of you were afraid of crossing to get to each other. And it was all about a fear of facing rejection, a fear of facing abandonment. You both had a fear of not having the comfort zone. Both of you felt safe behind the walls. Both of you feared taking a leap of faith, being totally open, totally vulnerable. And some of you watching this will really, really believe that you were being open and vulnerable because you were expressing your emotions to this person, you were expressing your feelings to them. But I really feel like in certain ways you were still wearing some masks. You may have, I need to protect myself. That's at the center of the reading. I feel like you both felt like you had to protect yourself in certain ways. You were both working towards the future with each other. But it's almost like you both feared deep down actually making the relationship happen in the now. Because you both felt like you needed to protect yourselves. You both feared the destruction of your connection. Some of you may have feared of getting too close to this person because you thought that would make them run away. This person feared getting too close to you because they feared that you would run away. They feared that if they got too close, you would see the real them, and then you'd be disappointed, and so you'd run away. You're both afraid of each other running. And so you were communicating from afar, howling at the moon, having deep longing, maybe deep discussions, but from afar. Neither of you were fully willing to come out of the comfort zone. And yet, some of you really felt that you were coming out of that comfort zone. But there was some kind of dynamic where you were both in a place where you felt safe, not being totally yourselves. And to me, this is saying that both of you had some intimacy fears. Both of you were emotionally unavailable. Whether, you want to believe what I'm saying or not, this is what I'm feeling. Both of you were emotionally unavailable because of a fear of abandonment and rejection. And so the moon to me is saying that you are both creating this dynamic where you are continually connecting from behind closed doors. So that could have been connecting just online, or through your phones, you know, through some kind of written message or through talking on the phone. But when it came to actually making things real and concrete, you were both afraid of rejection. And so you were both just holding on to the future. But I feel like because neither of you were fully taking a leap of faith, it was keeping this dynamic the same. There was stagnation. It was all about the future, but it was never fully about the present moment in the physical. I feel like you always had this deep, deep soul connection. But both of you feared really taking the real journey out of the comfort zone and up the mountain, up the difficulties of actually being open and fully vulnerable. And so for a long time, you were both stagnating and kind of in denial about the comfort zones. Like, I really feel like some of you really believed that you were the one being open and vulnerable. And in certain ways, yes, perhaps you were, but there was still a comfort zone. Maybe you felt attracted to this person because they were emotionally unavailable. So that meant you could stay in your own walls and vice versa. And so because this stagnation was going on for so long, I feel like for some of you, the universe had to intervene. It had to crumble this dynamic that you had going on because it was not serving you both. You both got stuck within your walls and you both wanted to be together, but it's like a major fear of, you know, because if you actually made it real on all levels, then there would be no going back. There'd be no holding on to comfort zones if it was really going to work in a healthy, harmonious way. And so because of that stagnation, because of holding on so tightly to the comfort zone, the universe stepped in and broke down the comfort zone, the dynamic between you both, because it wasn't serving either of you. You were both kind of partially committing to each other, but then you both had one foot in the comfort zone, which was creating a separation. And so this was holding you both back. You both got stuck in codependency. Neither of you fully knew your worth, and so you became attached to each other. You became attached to the other person's validation, them being there in a certain way, got attached to maybe fanciful kind of communication. You may have been talking poetically to each other kind of thing. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But it was kind of fantasy. It's like neither of you are fully stepping out of your comfort zone, but in the middle of your connection, at the core of your connection, there's the moon. That's like a higher dimension kind of thing. It's not grounded on the earth. There was this, basically you were both living too much in the higher dimensions, in kind of daydreaming fantasy. Your connection was very real. But there was a fantasy element where you tried to bridge the gap between you by imagination or talking about the future rather than actually, you know, crossing that line that you both had to come together. And so there was codependency. It was like fear creating that codependent bond. This normally, the devil card normally shows the two lovers chained to the devil, chained to each other through fear, basically, through the inner demons. But it's ultimately what was also keeping you apart. So because of so much intense fear of losing each other is what I'm feeling. With the widower and death, I feel there was a massive fear of losing each other. Oh my God, I've just realised what this card said. Closeness between you, but also space. So there was a closeness, I feel, through communication, but you were also keeping space from each other. Yeah, the devil. I feel like you both feared rejection from the other. You both feared it coming crashing down, because these stormy seas, it's like you felt this deep emotion. There was a roller coaster of emotions. It felt like a life or death situation, whether this was going to work out or not, whether this person was going to validate me or not. And so with the Devil card, I feel as though you were both maybe talking poetically to each other, talking about the future, telling each other how much you loved each other. And yes, that was real. The love was real, but I feel like there was a lot of words being spoken, a lot of daydreaming, and it was partially on the subconscious inner child level. You're partially doing that subconsciously to try and create an unhealthy attachment. It's like you both feared that the other would abandon you. So you both subconsciously tried to create some kind of attachment which meant you could never leave each other. So that may have taken the form of trying to be like a perfect person, trying to be the best version of yourself, trying to wear masks in order to try and capture this person, hook this person, keep them there, because you both feared being your true self, open and vulnerable. Neither of you felt truly worthy. You felt like the other person was better than you. And all of that shadow aspect of your connection had to crumble. So for some of you, it's like your biggest fears came true. You may have felt abandonment. You may have felt rejection. But this is like a false sense of security. Your false sense of security, the false fearful bonds, attachments are what came crumbling down. The Tower is always a blessing in disguise. You'd both got so stuck in the Hanged Man, which is a pause, it's a stagnation, it's going in circles. You got too stuck in overthinking things, living things through the mind rather than taking action. The universe had to step in to free you both. The Hanged Man in reverse is about starting to move again, taking action, moving forward. Death. So there was definitely an ending of this destructive comfort zone kind of cycle that was keeping you stuck together, yes, but it was also keeping you apart. It was a wedge between you both. So death, this is about transformation. There was a major Tower moment, but it was to break down the things that were keeping you apart. It was the illusions that were breaking down. The whole like illusion of being so blinded by the fear, so blinded and believing that, if this person walks away, then it means I'm not lovable. That whole abandonment and rejection fear. Terrified of that. It's almost like you both feared it so much that perhaps you even both manifested your biggest fears coming true. Separation. Some kind of drama happened which caused grief and anger. And again, that's a 10. Endings of old cycle, new beginning. So death. The Death card is about a rebirth. The things that weren't serving you had to be gotten rid of. And neither of you were going to truly make the steps to step out of your comfort zone. So you couldn't keep going on like this. Something had to give. The universe had to intervene, had to create some kind of separation. It had to get you away from each other for a while so you could go inwards, so there could be a death, a transformation within. You know, you were howling at each other, you were looking to each other too much codependency, that you weren't fully looking into yourselves. The moon is about your subconscious, your shadow side. There was a fear of going inwards and doing the work. There was a belief, like an illusion, that you could keep just howling at each other from afar, and somehow that would mean you could come together in a healthy way, but it wasn't going to work out like that. There needed to be a true transformation from within, so a healing from within. Widower. So there was a mourning of the loss of that dynamic that you both become so attached to, but it wasn't serving you both. It wasn't helping you truly, you know, come together, working towards your true future. And so there had to be an ending of that dynamic. Created despair. It made you feel like a widower. You had to mourn the loss of the way things were. You had to go through grief. You had to go through anger. You know, whatever happened, it had to be something really powerful to force you both to go your separate ways temporarily, so that the destructiveness, the destructive aspects would fall away. Like I said, the tower is always a blessing in disguise. It means any kind of foundation built upon things that aren't truly serving you, like trying to build a foundation through fear, like trying to hold on and create an attachment so that the other person felt like they couldn't leave, you know, anything like that, any kind of illusion, falsehood, anything that was keeping you separated basically had to crumble, had to come crashing down. And the tower is all about doing that, so there can be that transformation. So you can come out into the light. You'd both been stuck in so much fear and anxiety for so long, so much despair about not truly being together, that had to fall away. So there could be a rebirth within. You needed time for separation so that you could become stronger, become independent. This is soldier. So stronger, independent, assertion. To me, this assertion is creating healthy boundaries, creating self-love, working on your self-love. She almost looks pregnant here. It's like a rebirth, new beginning. You had to fight your inner demons, your inner fears. You had to go through that abandonment, that separation, that grief, that anger, so that you would no longer feel like you had to have the comfort zone up. A lot of you learnt to really know your own worth. A lot of you realised through this drama how much you had been stagnating, how much you had been stuck in fear and anxiety. Some of you really realised that you needed to fight that inner dragon. There needed to be this lion of strength. Inner demon. Did I say inner dragon? It's because there's a dragon here. Basically, a lot of you became stronger. So you're no longer as fearful. You're no longer believing that your worth is dependent upon this other person being there for you. You became, you really embraced yourself. You were there for yourself. You finally honoured your own needs, whereas before you probably weren't. You were wearing masks and trying to prove yourself to the other person, and the other person was doing the same. But you were not owning your own needs, not having enough self-care. So Whenever we face adversity, whenever we face major pain and grief and the death, drama, major upheaval, any kind of internal or any kind of struggle, when things are so hard and so painful, in order to be okay again, we are kind of forced out of the grief into more awareness, into awakening, because it's like when something feels so despairing, so painful and traumatic, it's like we can't cope with that, and so that pushes us into a deeper awareness, awakening and healing. And this was the only way it was going to happen. And I feel like this Tower moment, the ending of the old cycle, was to free you both, so eventually you can truly work towards your future. The Tower moment, even though it may feel like you've lost that dynamic that you once had with this person, that was preventing any kind of real future from grounding. But now you're both more out in the open, you're both more independent. That can really help you create a future. For some of you, it will be in this lifetime. Others, it may be in a different lifetime with this same person. I feel like I just have to say that. So yeah, I keep my distance, so you stay holding on to me. I feel like you're both doing that. It may appear like it was just the other person, but you were both doing that. There is so much I never said. Neither of you were fully expressing your vulnerabilities. You may have been telling them how you really feel, but I don't know, when you felt grief or anger, perhaps that was never being expressed. You didn't want to appear weak, and so maybe you tried to appear strong and not show too much emotion in certain ways. You may have felt comfortable expressing your emotions in one way, but then in other ways really afraid of that, really afraid of letting the other person know how much you felt like you needed them. So yeah, let's pull out some messages from here as well. Really powerful messages have come out already. For a set of cards number 4. So we have You're My World. So yeah, it felt like your world would come crashing down if there was a separation. And so there was a build-up of a false sense of security with each other. It wasn't like a true union on all levels. It was a union, but it was like a lot of fear was still tied up within that. And yeah, you're my world. And, there was so much I never said. That may have been one of the things that was never said. I want you back. So yeah, there's been a separation. Some of you may want like that old dynamic back in a way, but in another way it's like you've ascended from that. You've raised your vibration from those times, and so there's no going backwards in terms of falling back into that unhealthy dynamic. Scared. Yeah. Scared of losing. You're scared of losing each other. You want each other back because you feel they're your world. You were scared of rejection, abandonment. different paths. So yeah, you've had to go on different paths now. For some, there may be like karmic lessons down a different path, but when you were holding on to each other so much, it was preventing like that learning and that growth that you needed to go through in a different direction. And when you were holding on to each other too much, it was preventing other kinds of karmic contracts from being able to enter your lives. But you really needed these other experiences to continue like your growth and healing in order to fully like align and unite, have union with your true self, and possibly union with this person in the future. Or, you know, some of you, you will have this union in like the higher dimensions, like as souls, you know, you may, you know, in different dimensions, you may have agreed to incarnate into this lifetime and meet and trigger all this awakening and healing, and you're still really divinely connected no matter where you go, even if you go on different paths in this lifetime. But, you know, it may have been an agreement for the overall good. The bigger picture in terms of several different lifetimes. You know, this may be because your true identities are the soul. And so, you know, the soul is the most important aspect that is wanting to grow and heal and deepen. And so, you know, this lifetime may be just one piece of that journey. And so, you know, a full like union in terms of being together in the physical in this lifetime may not be that important in terms of the soul growth, because the soul knows that you're already always as one, and this lifetime is just kind of like an illusion. It's just like a theater where you play these different roles to heal and learn lots of different things. And so the ultimate goal is not what happens in terms of the physical union. It's just one aspect of the journey where you're already one, but it's just helping you both. And you agreed perhaps in this lifetime to help each other majorly with that soul growth through what's happened and what's happening and what's going to happen. So yeah, astral connection. This is talking about you're really connected in the higher dimensions. You may be connecting very deeply on that level. You may have always like really connected deeply on that level, because maybe you were just out of alignment in terms of a physical union. Karmic contract, yeah. You had different directions to go in, because it's like your twin flames, your soulmates, you know, and when you met each other, you wanted to really hold on to each other because you're like, oh my God, I've met the reflection of myself. I've met the other part of myself. So it's natural to, you know, not want to lose that or let go of that. But in doing that, in holding on so much, it was like preventing from further healing and growth. It's like you became too dependent on each other. And it may be part of the karmic contract that you're not meant to be together in a physical, in a romantic way at this time, or maybe in this lifetime. Running. Yeah, you're both running from each other, running from rejection. And I do feel like that was mirrored on both sides, not just one person. Possessive. Yeah, I do feel like there was a possessive energy where you were both holding on to each other so tightly. You were afraid of the other person running, which basically means them abandoning you. You were afraid that they were going to get with someone else, and they were afraid of that, and all things like that. So I really hope that this reading has been powerful and healing. And if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications. And that will notify you every time I release a new reading, which currently is about every other day. But also, if you would like additional readings every single week, which are exclusive to my email subscribers, then please sign up to those by clicking on the link which is in the description box. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye. This is set of cards number 5, which is the Redstone. And you've chosen this card. So what's going on within your connection? And this card is forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Okay, so what's going on within your connection? You have the 7 of Swords. Someone's running, or someone ran away. And I feel that's where this forgiveness comes in. High Priestess. The Knight of Swords. Strength. The 6 of Pentacles. When you were so sure of me, I thought to myself, what have I done to earn this love? I'd done very little. I love how you make me feel like $1 million. I don't want to get close, shatter your dreams, and lose your adoration. Let's make it happen. I'm here for you. Melancholy. Cheerfulness. Isolation. Choice. And surrender. Okay. So what's going on within your connection? So someone has been running away with the 7 of Swords. Running away through deception. So this could be self-sabotage. It could be, especially with this High Priestess as well, some kind of deception has come to light. Deception, it doesn't mean necessarily that someone was lying to you. It could literally just mean that they're so afraid of being their true self, so they're running away. They left you with the 2 of Swords, which is confusion. You had to make a choice. Do I stay? Do I go? Someone was afraid of shattering your supposed illusions of them. They felt like you had projected some kind of fantasy onto them, a fantasy version of them. Or maybe they feel as though you were in love with their potential. And when it's like they're running from you because they also see that you could see into them. And I feel like it intimidated them. They felt like they couldn't hide things from you, because this can be about deception. They felt like they couldn't hide things from you. They couldn't wear a mask. Or, I feel as though at some point they could wear a mask. Maybe, you were kind of deceived by some kind of illusion that they were creating around themselves. But then it's like somehow you began to see them more truthfully, or you had some kind of awakening, a lot of wisdom, and this intimidated them. Like you could see clearly into them. It's like you could understand what they were doing and why they were doing it. you just had a lot of like knowledge and understanding about why things were happening. You saw their vulnerabilities, you saw their fears, you saw everything within them that they tried to hide from the world. They tried to hide their vulnerabilities, tried to appear strong. Because this person in the traditional tarot is shown running away on the eve of the battle, just before a battle. So I feel like this person would have to face their inner fears. They'd have to fight their inner fears to unite with you or to get closer to you. And just before that moment occurred, they may have run in a different direction. They may have pushed you away because they're holding 5 swords, which is the energy of pushing someone away because of fear. They may have felt all over the place. They basically felt very fearful. They had a lot of walls up, and they saw you as the high priestess. They saw you as wise, as powerful. They saw you as someone who wasn't going anywhere. You were looking at them. You could see right through them. You were waiting for them. And I don't know. It's almost like they felt that you were above them. They felt like you were powerful and they were weak or something like that. And they were afraid of you seeing that. It's almost like this is the queen and they're just the soldier that's fighting for the queen, or supposed to fight for the queen. But by that I mean like an imbalance of power sort of thing. But there is the Knight of Swords, which is fighting. So they ran away at some point. This is what I'm feeling. They ran away at some point. They left you in the dust. They left you waiting. You were just kind of sitting there. You could see why they'd done it. You had that understanding. They may have felt foolish, but they needed some kind of space. Spirit is saying they needed to do things in their timing. They felt like you were kind of trying to rush them, or they didn't want to keep you waiting, and so they knew you were waiting, and so they felt rushed, and then they just freaked out, and they needed to take space. And I feel like you gave them space, because you just sat there. I don't feel like you chased them. You gave them space. So now, in their own timing, they're coming back. They're putting on their armor, they're taking up their shield and their sword, and they are doing that battle. They're fighting their inner demons. They're fighting to regain this strength to be with you, because again, they see you as very strong. And they feel all over the place, like the lion is kind of untamed. I'm trying to word this without being condescending. Emotionally, they basically felt all over the place, like a wild animal. A wild animal is unpredictable, perhaps. And they saw you as someone very grounded, trying to offer them love and strength. You were trying to help them transform, but they may have been feared that you were trying to control them and try and change them. And you did want them to change, but you wanted it for their sake as well. You wanted to help them overcome their fears and be happier within themselves. You wanted to help them have the strength. And I feel like you have. But, they may may have come a point where you were trying to push things a little bit too much before they were ready, because they had to go off and find their own strength as well. And you were someone that was very generous with them. Because look, you're holding the scales. So you were balanced in many ways. And they were like the beggars, like they needed help. And you were offering that to them. But yeah, you were offering them that help. But then they just felt like there was an imbalance of power. They were afraid that with this imbalance of power, then you might try and control them, you might try and change them, they might lose themselves in the connection if they got too close to you. And so there was those fears, so they ran away. When you were so sure of me, I thought to myself, what have I done to earn this love? I'd done very little. So yeah, they felt like you were the one that was being very generous and giving lots to them. And you were so sure of this person because you are this high priestess. You could see who they really are when they couldn't even see themselves for who they really are. They had a poor self-image, but you could see their soul. You could see their worthiness, but they didn't believe in their own worthiness. So they partly ran because they didn't want to get too close to you. And you see the version of themselves that they saw about themselves, feeling not good enough. They didn't want you to think that they weren't good enough or weren't strong enough. But now they are fighting for the connection. They are getting there. They're strengthening because they want to give back to you equally. They want there to be this balance of give and take. But in the past, they were afraid that you were just in love with some kind of perception of them. They very much see you as the gatekeeper because she's sitting in front, between those two pillars, but in front of this veil. And this is the veil between the different dimensions. They basically know that in order to awaken further, they have to come to you, sort of thing. In a way, they have to cooperate. I feel like you're twin flames because of these two pillars, the light and the dark. It's like yin and yang. And she's often holding the scroll or the book of life. They know that their truest fulfillment, their soul journey, they have to come to you. They have to cooperate on this journey for you to help them and lead them through that gateway into the divine. I love how you make me feel like $1 million. I don't want to get close and shatter your dreams and lose your adoration. So yeah, you offer them a lot of strength. You make them feel good about themselves. You make them feel stronger. But again, there was that fear of rejection lurking in the background, which ultimately they run from. It's like they get to the gateway where you are, and there's an opportunity to go through that gateway, but when they do, there's no turning back. And that's when they flee. Let's make it happen. I'm here for you. So they want to make it happen. They want to be there for you as much as you've been there for them. And that's why they're now the Knight of Swords. They have much more strength to make things happen, to take action, to do what it takes to face their fears. The High Priestess has the moon imagery as well, which is about the subconscious. You're basically the reflection of their subconscious, which is where all their fears and wounds are stored. And they have to go inwards and face their self, face their mirror, and that's why they're running away from you. But they have to do that if they want to go further on this healing journey, which is the most fulfilling journey. So there's melancholy and cheerfulness, isolation and choice. Some of them, you know, they may be in another relationship. Some of them may have run away from you to get into another relationship. Doesn't necessarily mean that. But for some it will do, because they had to make a choice. And when I see this isolation, it reminds me of what's going on right now with the lockdown. Self-isolation. If they are with someone, you know, if they're in a relationship with someone and they're kind of stuck in the house with their partner, look how he's turning away and feeling sadness. You know, when you're forced into a situation, when you're forced into that isolation with someone, you know, perhaps this person is realizing just how unhappy they are with their current partner. But this can also mean they feel isolation, they feel separation from you, they're longing for love, because 6 is the number of love. There's all these ruins here. So they're worried that things have fallen apart. They're worried that things are just in the past now. That may be why there was someone else. This person has to make a choice whether to invest in their spiritual journey or keep running, you know, choosing their own self-love or choosing fear. So what's really interesting is melancholy. This could be you feeling a lot of sadness, feeling all alone. But it's like you may have been seeing them going out partying or in a third party situation, and they were putting on this front, putting on this mask that they're all cheerful and happy, and you may have felt like you were all alone at home, feeling really sad, feeling really isolated from this person. But I feel like this is a mask that this person was wearing, or they were trying to distract themselves by going out and drinking perhaps and partying, or maybe even distracting themselves with a third party situation, because they may have been trying to run away from the pain of feeling like they were unworthy to be with you or weren't strong enough to be with you. And so they may have just tried to soften the blow of that pain by either choosing to be with someone else or distracting themselves with drinking and partying or something. But deep down they're feeling isolation. Whoever they're surrounding themselves with, or if they are in another partnership, really they are feeling lonely because they're still longing for you. It's like deep down they're feeling this melancholy when they're all alone. So that is why they may have surrounded themselves with other people to try and distract themselves from that. There's a surrender here. This is all about them, because I feel like they were resisting this awakening for a long time, but now they're surrendering. They're like finally feeling like it's time to be true to themselves and go down this healing path. Let's look into further messages. Leap of faith. I feel like a leap of faith was they were being called to take a leap of faith in the past. They didn't. They bolted in the opposite direction. But now with the surrender card, I feel they are working hard to be able to take that leap of faith with you in the future. Lessons in self-love. So yeah, they basically didn't feel good enough. They need to work on their self-love you know, to be in alignment with the love vibration, to be able to have a healthy relationship with themselves so they can have a healthy relationship with you, with another, you know, healthy give and take. Dreams. This person may be dreaming about you. That can be what the High Priestess is with the moon as well. They may be connecting with you in the higher realms. I feel like they're daydreaming about you a lot as well from afar. Unfair. So yeah, there was some unfairness or some kind of injustice that happened here. And I feel like that's where this forgiveness card is coming in. You may have given your all to this person, to this connection, only to have them run away kind of thing. And forgiveness is needed. You're incredible. So yeah, they really do see you as incredible. They see you as that High Priestess, as that Lady in the Strength card. They see you as so strong, so amazing, so wise. But you see them as incredible as well. It's just that they don't fully see that about themselves. Well, there's two here. Mind games and I need you. So yeah, mind games. This may be what that Seven of Swords is about. They weren't being their true self. They weren't like being upfront with their emotions. They were trying to keep you attached to them through unhealthy ways, like maybe trying to make you jealous or being hot and cold with you, maybe trying to keep you chasing them. But deep down they love you and they feel like they need you. They see you as their rock, someone that really like helps them, really like guides them home. We belong together. So yeah, they see you as their soulmate or their twin flame. They feel that you are the one for them. So one final message. Intimidated, yeah. That's at the core of their fears and why they ran. They felt intimidated by you because you could see their real them. They felt intimidated by this calling to face their own fears and inner demons. But now they are beginning to surrender. They are having more strength and they are really fighting their demons and fighting for the connection. So I really hope this reading has resonated with you, and if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. If you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. And if you would like additional readings every single week, then please sign up to those by clicking the link below this video. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye. So this is set of cards number 6, which is the green stone. So what is going on within your connection? You chose this card here, which is twin flames. Your passion ignites. So for many of you watching this, this is confirmation that yes, this is your twin flame, or that yes, this message is going to be about your twin flame connection. So there's the 5 of Pentacles. Justice in reverse. The Sun, the Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups. Do you still love me? The real me might disappoint your fantasy. Give me some space right now. I'm sick of the old paradigms. Secrets, devotion, submission, malady, reunion, and karma. So someone may be in a karmic situation with someone else, perhaps. Not necessarily. Because this karma, for most of you, will be about the karma that you have with each other. The things you need to heal and release and learn from in order to love yourselves more, have the inner union with yourselves so you can have the union with each other. So it's really amazing that Twin Flames is here and the reunion card. So I feel as though you really have tried to help this person. This person's very wounded. They felt like an outsider their whole life. They haven't felt good enough their whole life. And therefore, I feel this is someone that wears a lot of masks. Secrets, to me, is like they're hiding their true self from the world. They may have been hiding their true self from you. You're trying to help this person, trying to comfort them, trying to help them have strength, trying to help them be more positive with the sun, trying to help their inner child. There may have been a parent-child dynamic going on here, because look, there's malady as well. I feel like you were trying to heal this person. I feel like this person became too codependent upon the help and the healing that you were providing for them. But there was an injustice, some kind of karma, because there's, do you still love me? I feel like there's some kind of separation, some kind of secrets maybe came up and caused you to walk away from them, or they walked away from you. And the secrets could be they just stopped communicating to you. They were trying to hide the parts of themselves that they felt ashamed of. The secrets could have been the injustice in terms of maybe with this Wheel of Fortune, maybe they went in a new direction. Maybe they did get with someone else and it kind of shoved you off the wheel. And you felt left out in the cold by them. Secrets came to light. It caused you both to go in a new direction. You felt a lot of pain. Maybe they did have karma with someone else. It could be the other way around. Maybe you got with someone else. I feel like this person wants to return now. Especially with, do you still love me? The real me might disappoint your fantasy. So yeah, they've not felt good enough for you. And so I feel like they've been wearing masks and hiding the aspects of themselves that they didn't feel were good enough. But ultimately that led to more separation. But they are devoted to you. This love they feel is so strong because it's from past lives as well. I feel it was karma for you to feel hurt by this person. I don't see karma as bad things happen because in a past life you did something bad and therefore you deserved it. I don't see it in that way at all. But I feel as though this person, there was some kind of karma where this person walked away and it was supposed to make you feel extremely disappointed, extremely hurt, and like there was an injustice, because I feel like it was a child wound or an inner, like an inner child wound, to do with abandonment and rejection. It's almost like you had to relive that wound with your twin flame in order to release codependency, because in a like parent-child dynamic, it means that both are codependent. The parent is like trying to help, maybe on the verge of being a little bit controlling, trying to control things, maybe subconsciously trying to get the child kind of person to be dependent on them so that they feel like they need the parent and therefore can't leave. And then the child, you know, can use like the parent person as like a crutch to enable them to avoid like fully doing their own healing work and having that love on the outside to give them lots of love and attention and approval because they haven't found it within. I feel this karma is about this sun. The sun is the healing of the inner child. It's about the rebirth, the light, the epiphany, the learning, the wisdom that comes from difficult experiences. And whatever's happened, it has set you both in a new direction, because this is the karmic wheel. You are both going in circles in some kind of way, which wasn't serving you both. So some kind of tower moment happened to force you in a new direction. You know, the universe is turning that wheel. The universe intervened, made something happen that created a lot of pain. But ultimately it's leading to self-love. Maybe you were so too codependent on each other, looking outside of yourselves for love and approval and validation, that you were giving and giving and giving love to the other, but then you needed to find that inner peace within yourself, the self-love, have the inner union with yourself, and which can lead to a union with your twin flame. So this was a heart awakening. It, you know, these painful situations broke your heart open into deeper awareness, into epiphanies, into being honest with yourself about what your intuition was telling you all along about certain red flags that you may have been ignoring, where, you know, those red flags were telling you you needed to love yourself more, you needed to heal your own inner child kind of thing. So this person is hoping that you still love them. You may be hoping they still love you. This could have been a mirrored thing. The real me might disappoint your fantasy. So you may have tried to be the perfect person by giving them so much love that they felt like you were such a loving person that they couldn't live without you, or they'll never find anyone as loving as you are. So you may, you know, have been ignoring your own needs, and you weren't fully being your real self because you were denying certain aspects of yourself, and you were trying to play this role of being the perfect, like, provider of love. You were afraid that you weren't enough if you were just yourself, so you had to give. It's like you felt like you had to be and do more, be extra, give extra to earn their love in return. So yeah, give me some space right now. There's needed to be distance in order for there to be more awareness. Sometimes we're too close to the situation, so we can't see things clearly. So that's why space is needed. And the space had to happen, or will happen, so you both can see things more clearly about some kind of paradigm, some kind of belief system, some kind of dynamic that's going on between you that isn't serving you both, that's more likely codependent, some kind of karma. the space is helping you realize that you're tired of that old dynamic and things need to change in a positive way, because the fear, the codependency, the fear of abandonment and rejection has made you both feel like a caged bird kind of thing. Submission, and it shows the female symbol. So if you're a female, you're kind of submitting, you're kind of going along with things that perhaps you should not have, sort of thing. You're kind of enabling this person, perhaps. You were kind of caging yourself in, but now the cage is open. You're freeing yourself. And, you're realizing that there's still this devotion that you both have. Even when you've released codependency, when you've let each other go, when you've set each other free, you're still coming back together. There's still this love, there's still this devotion. So this is all about surrender to me in order for reunion to occur. So let's look into these messages here. What's going on within your twin flame connection? Trust issues. So in the broader sense, I feel as though this person doesn't trust that they're worthy of love. You may not have trusted that you're worthy of love deep down. A lack of faith in the divine, like in the universe. So there may have been some kind of control issues, trying to hold on to each other for dear life. And because perhaps one was more adept at giving love, and the other person didn't feel as confident in doing that, it led to that imbalance, that parent-child dynamic. Codependency, because of neither were fully trusting in the connection, neither fully trusting that the divine will bring you together when the time is right. Sleepless nights. So I feel this person is having sleepless nights. They're worrying because they're afraid that you don't still love them. And, they're really hoping for that reunion. They're feeling a lot of passionate feelings for you. They're having regrets about the past. They're wanting to make amends. But I feel like they're not reaching out because, again, they fear being open and vulnerable. They're not confident when it comes to expressing their emotions, and they may be afraid that you're angry at them and that you won't be receptive if they do reach out. I want to be like you. So yeah, this person put you on a pedestal. They feel like you're too good for them. They may have worn masks to try and kind of imitate you in certain ways. Like if they knew that you liked certain things or you had certain interests, they may have tried to make out like they're like that and they like those things too. And basically trying to impress you to the point of, they lost touch with their true self. They weren't being their true self. And they thought that that was going to keep you interested in them. They thought that was going to make you get closer, but really, because this is a twin flame connection, which is all about needing to be authentic and returning to your true soul self in the physical form, that mask, that pretense was just creating blocks and separation. And, again, that could be vice versa. You could have been doing the same. Astral connection. So you're connecting a lot in the higher dimensions. This also may be why there's sleepless nights. You may connect in the 5D at night time when there's, time to think about things a lot. Sexual desires at night and connecting to each other in the higher dimensions. Chasing. So yeah, someone was chasing and the other person was running. And in truth, running and chasing is the same thing. when we're chasing someone, we're looking outside of self for validation and approval. We're running away from ourselves. We're running away from the fear of really looking inwards and facing the fear of abandonment and rejection. And runners are doing the same. They're running from you because they're afraid that if they try and be with you, then they're going to be revealed as not being good enough in some kind of way. So they're running. And some of them, when they run, they are actually chasing you as well, because they run and they see that you're chasing them. So that's their way of, getting you to keep validating them and showing that you're really interested and trying to make it work. So, when they run, it's their way of pulling you in, like chasing you in that kind of way. Infinite bond. So yeah, twin flames. The bond never dies. The love never dies. It's infinite. And maybe, this person is kind of taking that for granted, like, oh, things will work out when the time is right. And so they're kind of using that as an excuse to avoid doing their healing work right now. Shaking, sweaty, stuttering. This is someone that is so afraid of how you perceive them. That's why they wore a mask. And try to impress you, because this may be someone that's extremely shy. Maybe they literally shake in your presence, or they sweat, or they start stuttering and they feel foolish and they're like, oh my God, I don't want her to see me in this way, and they feel humiliated. And so some of them are like running and hiding because they just feel humiliated. They feel really intimidated by you because they see you as someone so amazing. Leap of faith. So they know that they need to take a leap of faith. They need to believe in the connection. Some of you need to release holding on or chasing, because you need to have a leap of faith in terms of trusting the divine, trusting that this is an infinite bond. And when you chase, it's from fear. When we're in a fear vibration, it's because we believe we're not going to receive union. And whatever we believe is what we manifest. Whatever we focus on, we manifest. So when we have a lack of faith in the universe and we start chasing, we're focusing on what we don't have. We're focusing on, it's not going to happen unless I make it happen. And so, deep down, it's a lack of faith. You don't believe in the union, so the union doesn't manifest. So one more message. Disheartened. So yeah, someone may have felt disheartened, and so they ran away because they felt, it's not working, it's too complicated. Some of you are feeling disheartened right now, and this is saying have faith. You've got some trust issues when it comes to trusting the divine. Stop chasing. It's an infinite bond. Stop worrying so much and having these sleepless nights. Have faith. There's your twin flames, and there's the reunion, the devotion. So I really hope this reading has resonated with you. And if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications. And that will notify you every time I release a new reading. If you would like additional readings every single week, which are exclusive to my email subscribers, then please sign up to those by clicking the link below this video. So thank you so much and take care. Bye.